Hi there, I'm Trevor Fisher, and I'll be going over the first week's discussion board questions. Alright, so the first question is, what does fitness mean in evolutionary terms? And when it comes to crickets, what does fitness mean? So in the book, fitness was defined as just evolutionary success of being able to pass on your own genes. So basically, it just translates to how successful a species is in passing down their genes. And in return, in regards to crickets, that kind of translates to just how they'll be passing their genes down. And in regards to the comic, it goes with calling or being sneaky. And so the fitness there is defined as how a cricket can call and attract a female, or if a cricket is a little wily and sneaks in for the kill thereafter following the call. So question number 2. Is calling good or bad for a cricket's fitness? Contrast the reasons why it's selectively good versus reasons why it is selectively bad. So I feel calling could be good or bad. However, in the comic, it's portrayed to give a negative effect as the cricket calls, which does attract the female. So female does come, however, another cricket takes advantage of the good calling, and therefore the cricket that does initially call doesn't get to reproduce. However, in terms outside the comic, in a normal cricket's fitness, calling is good as it does attract a female, and it can be successful in the reproduction of that cricket's genes. However, just in the comic, like I said earlier, the calling was kind of a negative, as not only did he get taken advantage of, as the other cricket ended up reproducing with the other female, the calling also attracted a predator, being the bat, to come and swoop him up and eat him. And the human also kind of heard the cricket, and he turned around and ended up stepping on the cricket when he was looking for him. Alright, number 3. Describe 3 different instances in which the story in which cricket is prohibited and eliminated from mating, and thus unable to pass on his cricket genes. So the first one was just the other cricket snooping up the female, where he kind of just snuck in and posed as the calling cricket and took his girl. So yeah, the calling cricket was unable to pass on his genes because another cricket took his girl. So number 2 would be the calling cricket. His music was very loud, and he ended up calling a bat in, which swooped him up, eating him, making him unable to pass on his genes. Continuing on, we got number 3, which was the human crushing him, and as that being happening, dead cricket can't pass on his genes. So what kind of natural selection pattern would I see in this? Stabilizing, directional, or disruptive? So I kind of saw a few answers to this. Just in context of the cartoon, I would say directional, as if that situation were to keep happening, the calling cricket being unable to pass its genes down, then calling would start to not happen in the gene pool anymore, as it'd only be sneakier crickets that just keep on mating, and it would be that more directional pattern as their fitness is succeeding and they are passing down their genes. However, in terms of just overall crickets, I would say just more disruptive, as you have those sneaky crickets being able to come in and swoop and pass down their genes. However, it is really the calling crickets that are attracting the females. So outside of that context, I feel they won't always be prohibited. But just for the cartoon, it would be directional. And number 5. So question number 5. In what specific ways does the environment influence the practice of cricket calling? So I feel environment is kind of everything, especially for that fitness. So the environment, one of the points I wanted to go over was just how it is very open for where the cricket is calling, and I felt just the noise and being in that open environment made him very easy to get swooped up by the bat, which ended up in him being eating and prohibited from his fitness. Another point I'd like to make was that cricket was doing what's called right by humans, which I feel most crickets wouldn't do, but it's where that cricket chose to be, and he ended up getting crushed. Also not able to pass on his genes, as those dumber crickets won't be able to pass their genes on because they'll be right by humans and getting crushed. And just the environment of those other crickets hiding in the bushes waiting for a cricket to call also had an effect, as I'm sure the cricket wouldn't be calling if he saw other crickets waiting to swoop in. Yeah, that's mainly how I felt the environment affected me.